holding would be called, and if so, it will back up the Oxnard Yellowjackets 10 yards.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with those jet sweep type plays is tackle on the edge there tends to just try and wrap up the guy, and he gets called for holding. I'd like to see you guys just take that guy and shove him back towards the goal line, separate from him, and so we don't get those kind of holding calls.
24 seconds left in the first quarter. They call an illegal shift and then a horse collar on the defense. We got some technical issues. Thank you for joining us here on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Recapping what we've seen so far, Xavier Harris with a 32-yard touchdown on the opening possession after a short field started things at the 41-yard line for the Oxnard Yellowjackets. And then on St. Bonaventure's side, they got up into plus territory, were sacked on fourth down, and now for the third possession of the game, the second for Oxnard, they're back in striking distance as it's 2nd and 8 here at the 24-yard line. Only 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Jones does not need to snap it, so it looks like Oxnard will step away from the play, and it is 7-0 after the first quarter here from Oxnard High School. 20 doctors with 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind, to get you back in the game. Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapy services featuring 26 highly skilled physical and occupational therapists. Learn more at VenturaOrtho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. Today's broadcast is also a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at VCS Preps. And George, there's a lot of games around the county tonight. It is playoffs. It's November. Right. And so far, we've seen a pretty good start to the game here for Oxnard.
And we're seeing something different. This is something that in my 50-plus years of doing high school football as a coach and now as an announcer, I have never seen before a CIF playoff game that's also a homecoming and senior night for a school.
Yeah.
The homecoming and senior night was scheduled for Oxnard High School to be played here last week against Buena. But due to the fires and the poor air quality at the last minute, they had to move the game to Nordhoff High School and cancel those things. Coach Moreno talked with Coach Henney this week and said, hey, we got this problem. And Coach Henney said, hey, if you want to do it tonight, do it. So we're seeing our first ever CIF playoff homecoming game. And we had a nice senior introductions before the contest. So
yeah, there's a class of 79 that's here. So right. I believe a 40-year reunion for them as well. So we're in the early stages of the second quarter. It was a fast-moving first quarter. Oxnard leads 7-0 on homecoming, and as you said, hosting a playoff game. There's a flag in the backfield. It is going to be complete in the back of the end zone, but the flag in the backfield is going to result in holding on the Yellowjackets. And so instead of it being a potential 3rd and 8, now it's going to be 2nd and very long.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of break in the action here. Our Aflac Sports Trade for tonight. This field is named after Clarence Bud Hauser. Kent, I'm going to give you 2 more series if you can tell me who Clarence Bud Hauser was.
2 more series to know who Bud Hauser is as they assess the penalties here.
And no using your phone. Okay, I'm watching you.
Well, they're backing it up to the 40-yard line, and let's just say if Bud Hauser's out here, he probably could have gotten the ball very far towards the other end. Just a little teaser there. I'll say this. We've done a few games here over the years. His name has come up, and you'll do your tri-tip rankings later.
Okay.
I'll fill you in on Bud Hauser here in a few. It's now 2nd and 24. It will throw a screen to Harris. Harris is met, but he slips away from a tackle. Harris inside the 40, down to the 26-yard line. And that is a tough position to be if you're a defensive player in the open space on your heels to tackle Harris, and it didn't work out.
No, and I think Harris will win most of those kind of open field battles if he gets them. Nice call there. Tim Gutierrez, who's the offensive coordinator for Oxnard, has been a long time coach in this area. He played at Santa Clara High School, was the CF Player of the Year back in 1989, I think it was. Had a tremendous run at St. Bonaventure as their offensive coordinator, became the head coach at Santa Clara, the head coach at Buena High School, and he's been at Oxnard again here for about the last 4 or 5 years as an offensive coordinator. Does a great job calling plays.
Was a 15 complete It's not quite a first down, but it does pick up. We know. Look who's coming in. You have some extra push with some of the linemen here. Let's see for Oxnard, big number 51, James Fetzer, trying to make his way in. So they're going to bring an extra lineman in here.
I think that kid was in front of us when we were getting tri-tips, if I'm not mistaken. Very great job there by the pass blocking of Oxnard High School, and great job by the secondary of St. Bonaventure. Jaden Jones just was able.
For Oxnard, ball on the 21-yard line. It will be Jones who tries taking off. He does not get anywhere. The defense holds, and the Seraphs will get the ball back.
Here we go again.
Yeah, there's still some more chippiness, as you said. And when I got here, you brought me into this saying 75 minutes into the game, they were already near the 50 going back and forth. And this will be post-possession, so it will remain Seraphs football. But now we'll have to see if it's okay. Well, there we go.
Well, there was a push in there, and there was one of the St. Bonaventure put down and keep the drive alive. It's really important, I think, here that players get themselves back under control emotionally and just play the game, and don't do these things that really hurt the entire team by trying to get some revenge of some kind.
Yeah, a playoff game. There's no room for error at all.
It's one and done here, so you got to be on your best.
It will be Gavin Bierup, the Wyoming commitment. Signing day about a month away with that new signing day that started a couple years ago in December. They will hand it off to Arianis. Arianis will pick up about 3 yards, and it will be 2nd and 7. So to answer your Bud Hauser question, former Olympian here. I know he was a local legend as a high school player, set the record for shot put, and then he happened to win couple Olympic gold medals over kind of in your neck of the woods where you live half the year in Europe. Yeah. That's where he won his gold medals, over there in Paris and Amsterdam. So 3-time Olympic gold medalist in the discus and the shot put. An impressive athlete overall.
And his first one, the first one he won, he was still in high school when he won that.
It's go road.
Yeah, back to the Bud Hauser thing. Yeah, he won a gold medal in high school, and this is, I believe, the 3rd campus in the history of the high school. Now, I remember his high school record for the shot put of 56 feet 3 inches was set in 1922, and that's still a record here at Oxnard. The field was named in his honor. The only other person I knew.
Tough to tell. The one guy I love today is Fonts because he's wearing the pink gloves.
Yes,
he's very easy to assess on both sides. All game bar. So make sure to 3rd and 6 awaiting the Seraphs in this game. 7-0. The lead is 1 score by the Yellowjackets. It is going to be caught for a first down. A good throw on the move is Bierup, and it was caught by Declan Handworker, the tight end. The tackle was Tanelu Lamalu, and it's a good enough gain for a first down, George.
Yeah, well, this is what they need to keep doing. Just play football. Control the clock. You're only down 7-0, right?
Yes.
I can't really see the scoreboard from where we're sitting, but you're well in the football game right now, Bonnie. Just take care of business and play football.
And you moved the ball well on the first possession. You just got sacked on 4th down. It was a big loss. Another whistle blown here by the officials. Well, a lot of black and white zebra so far here in this game, as we're trying to get this thing. Maybe it was a very fast-moving first quarter, and now it has been a very slow-moving second quarter here as the officials continue to congregate. Ventura Orthopedics has one goal: to get you back in the game. The doctors are well-versed in the special orthopedics needs of both the amateur and professional athletes. Learn more at venturaortho.com today, or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280 or venturaortho.com. This is the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star, a Division V first-round playoff game, the round of 16, and it is going to be caught inside Yellowjackets territory. A big gain by Caleb Carfaro, and it moves the chains inside the 35-yard line. A great strike by Bierup there on the slant, and Carfaro was able to take it up all the way to the 35.
Right, the secondary for Oxnard, they were all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So running that post with no free safety was a really well-run route, and left the cornerback there, who I think is that Fonts, number 14?
Yes.
Yeah, left him on an island, and receiver for St. Bonaventure just got a good inside position, and good throw by Bierup.
Carfaro, the leading receiver on this St. Bonaventure's team. 8:50 remaining in the second quarter. Kent Brown and George Contreras from Bud Hauser Field. We just broke down who he was, a three-time Olympic gold medalist.
Same look here, everybody within 5 yards of the ball.
And now another flag is thrown. We've already seen one illegal shift earlier in this game. It already looks like the Seraphs are moving back 5 yards. And yes, false start on the offense. So back them up 5, it'll be 1st and 15.
And these are the things when you're in a game like this that just are killers. That you're facing a very good defense, team that runs well, and you can't give up 5 yards like that.
The Seraphs get the first score of the game. If you're just joining us, it was a 32-yard run by Xavier Harris on the opening possession. Back to pass is Birup. Birup has the wide receiver down here to the bottom of your screen. It's going to be another nice catch by the tight end.
Much in mathematics, he was waving for first down after that, and he's still about 7 yards short.
Well, maybe to him. You never know. There could be something where, for him, it's like if I gain more than 5, I'm throwing it out no matter what.
Yeah. Well, the problem is he threw that in front of the Oxnard bench, and given how
good point
things are going here, that's what you have to get under control.
2nd and 7. The hand worker, he moves like a wide receiver out there at the tight end spot.
Very good football player.
Barrett back to pass.
Nice
quick
catch.
out, a nice grab, and then a good job by the cornerback to wrap up and throw him out of bounds. That was actually Titus Hutchinson, the outside linebacker, making that play after the short gain. And it will now be 3rd and 1. So a nice gain on 2nd down. And we'll see if Arianas can maybe do a power run here. We saw Beer up earlier on 3rd down. Georgie kept it. You have to watch out for the quarterback here.
And I think it's 3rd down, I believe. Yes, it's 3rd
and
1. I'm sure this is going to be a 2-down situation if needed. They're going to go for it on 4th down if they have to.
We saw their opening play of the game. The Seraphs went under center. This is not what they'll do here unless they switch the formation. It's Beer up from the gun. There's a fullback and a tailback. The handoff is to Arianas. Arianas has the first down. Didn't need much. Gets enough. And it's up to the 25-yard line. 1st down, Seraphs.
And the impressive ability to run by Oxnard. That thing looked open to the outside. He was going to get good yardage, and 2 guys got there right away and shut that door. So very good pursuit. The people who were trying to set the edge on that play didn't. The tackle did a good job making the block, but boy, a great job pursuing by the linebackers there.
Yeah, the linebackers, Grant Ennis, Anthony Lopez, and Titus Hutchinson, 3 guys that are all over the field for this Yellowjackets defense. 1st and 10, 7:50 remaining in the second quarter. Another pre-snap penalty. That time it was hand worker moving when I think there might have been maybe another player moving as well.
Yeah, someone in the
false
interior.
Start.
So again, you had a 1st and 10, now you're looking at 1st and 15.
Well, last time they ended up getting a 1st and 15 for about 7, and then another 7, and then 1.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll just have to do it again.
Yeah, let's see if we can get another 1st down after 7 yards when we only have 8 to go again.
Clock continues to wind, 7:40 remaining. Playoff football here in Ventura County. Kent Brown, George Contreras from Bud Hauser Field. This time looked like a designed quarterback keeper as Grant Birup will slide. Maybe it might have even been if your first read's not open, just take off. Either way, a heads-up play by Birup. Yep. Nothing was open. Pick up a short gain and set up about 2nd and 8.
Yeah, 2nd and 10, I would say. You got about 5 there. So good play. Good solid play.
Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
And Birup did a very nice job. We always think of him as a quarterback, and he's a thrower and all this, but he's done some things with his feet to, pick up a nice gain here, get a 1st down there. So he's doing the job that you want out of your quarterback in a playoff situation so far.
2nd and 10, 4 wide. 3 here to the wide side of the field at the bottom of your screen. Birup will roll right, looking to set up a screen. Now we'll throw it deep towards the sticks, and that is a heck of a throw, a great grab. I believe that might have been Benny Harold potentially with the grab. Yes, time to look.
He's doing the thing on 1st down.
6 minutes remaining in the second quarter, the midway point. Birup will throw it towards the side of the end zone, incomplete. That time they were trying to go towards the near side of the field.
What they've done on that, they'd set up a wide receiver screen,
yes,
and usually the inside slot receiver goes and blocks the corner. That time it was the go where he's just going to take off and hope that the guy bites on the screen. Great job. I'm not sure who that is with these numbers, but the cornerback for Oxnard did not bite on the screen at all, played it very well, and I think Bira put the ball about the only place that his guy could have caught it. If not, it went out of bounds, and we just lived to fight another day here.
Now you have Samuel, Barbosa, Lamalu, and Fonts as the main corners for this team. On 2nd and 10, it is going to be a touchdown. Benny Harold, the sophomore, gets it from the senior Bira from 13 yards out, and that time just a quick slant. Harold catches it and goes into the end zone. They are a PAT away from tying this game.
Yeah, fantastic throw. Again, the post routes with no free safety kind of look from Oxnard is
a little dangerous.
It's dangerous, and against a quarterback like this with good receivers, that's a tough go.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is no good. So the Seraphs do not get to tie the game, but they are 6 points closer to the Oxnard Yellowjackets with 6:09 remaining.
Open the game up with the pooch. St. Bonaventure needs to get a big return in the punt return or the kickoff return game to make up for extra point here on the kickoff return. So we have to keep an eye on that, and they're hoping here that somebody up in the front here will make a miscue of the kickoff, and Seraphs can recover it. That's their goal.
We have seen limited possession so far, each team with just a couple possessions here in this contest. At the midway point of the second, it will be another short kick, and this one is going to be caught at about the 25-yard line. It'll be brought up close to the 30, down at the 31. So the worst field position of the game so far for Oxnard. They have started, as you said, around the 41, 42-yard line, and then at midfield on their last possession. Jaden Jones takes over. It is 7-6. But a good answer that time from the Seraphs, and now it does put way more game pressure on the Oxnard Yellowjackets here, as the lead is only one.
Yeah, and on that short kick, ball's at the 30. I think Coach Henney's probably very happy with that, given the situation that we were talking about, not allowing the big return by Harris or Fonts.
6:03 remaining. Jaden Jones, the junior. Job by Jones to keep the play alive and find his fullback.
Using his feet.
The 8-yard line.
Watch the snap here. Oxnard's had some issues on snaps throughout the year.
Hunter Rapp, the punter. It was a high snap, but Rapp does get it cleanly. Carfaro from his 30 will back away as it gets a Seraphs hop, bouncing to about the 35-yard line. So a good punt to keep it away from the return man, but St. Bonaventure will take over, down 1 point here. George, 3 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Huge drive, and also the Seraphs get the ball to start the third.
One of the things here that I've seen over the years is you get a big emotional game like this thing start off, and you score on that first drive. You may score too easily, and you may just say, okay, this is easy, we got this. So Oxford's got to be careful with that. Coach Moreno's going to have to do some serious motivating, I think, at halftime to get their guys refocus on what they need to do. The chippiness should be done now. Let's just play and try and win and move on to the next day.
Yeah, as the minutes continue to go down in this game, as we said earlier, do or die. You either win and you play another week, or you lose and it's season over. So everything has to be between these white lines. On first down, Arianis, a nice gain, his best rush of the game, and then there was a flag thrown by the head ref, and it will be another holding call. And well, St. Bonaventure likes to back itself up on first down.
Yeah, that was a late holding call, too. It wasn't in the line. It was the wide receiver came in to help block, and he was the one who did the holding 10, 15 yards up the field.
And Arianis
10 yards from the spot of the foul, so we're looking at a 1st and 10 again.
Yeah, ball in the 32. They have to get to the 44. So 1st and 12 officially here with 3 minutes remaining. A couple substitutions for St. Bonaventure. Right now coming into the game is number 15, Isaac Thorpe, who will be one of the wide receivers lined up.
This is where the experience, we talked about St. Bonaventure having played 8 playoff teams this year into play.
Defense to get him, and now there is an official's time to ensure their patients receive the best care available. Always staying abreast of the latest developments in orthopedic medicine. Learn more.
I think overall they have so far.
Yeah, pretty good. 2 sacks for Oxnard. Back to the original line.
It doesn't do any good until you throw a flag. If you want to stop, you're going to have to throw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct and get there. This is when we just hit this
hard. So
a 2-down situation for the Seraphs.
And with his arm, you could really go deep
again,
here.
No free safety again. Here comes a blitz.
3 wide to the top of your screen, 1 here to the bottom.
Okay, now we have a
Now safety's back there.
Yeah.
Changing up the defense are the Yellowjackets. A big 3rd and 5. Birrup back to pass, standing tall in the pocket. Has his receiver. It's to the 40-yard line, down to the 39-yard line. A 22-yard pickup on 3rd and 5. And a great strike from the Wyoming commit, Gavin Birrup. And now the Seraphs are inside the 40 with 1:20 left, down a point.
And they showed blitz to begin with, and they backed off of it. A great job pass protecting, and Birrup just threw a nice strike again.
1st and 10, ball on the Yellowjackets 39. Birrup rolling to his right away from the pressure. Has a receiver, incomplete. That time it was dropped. St. Bonaventure, it was Nico Diaz on the drop. Would have been a pickup of about 15. Instead, it's 2nd and 10.
They needed that one. That was a pretty good throw, and it was in the receiver's hands. And again, if you can get 2 hands on it, you need to catch. And this level of high school football at this point in the season, you need to make a play.
Absolutely. 3 now to the bottom of your screen. 1 wide receiver to the top. Ball on the left hash. Birrup with Arianis, the tailback. He'll throw a quick pass out to Ben Harold. Harold has the lone Seraphs touchdown of the game, and there's a flag near the 40-yard line, and it'll be another wide receiver called for holding.
And that's a solid call. The wide receiver here at the edge rode his cornerback all the way down about 5 yards inside. And if it wasn't holding, he was blocking from behind as well. So either one you want to call.
10-yard penalty. It was right near the line of scrimmage, so officially it will be 2nd and 21 awaiting the St. Bonaventure Seraphs. St. Bonaventure coached by Tony Henney. They went 1-3 in the Marmonti League. Got into the playoffs 5-5 overall. Oxnard, we said earlier, from the Pacific View League, 5-0, undefeated in league play, and 9-1 on the season. Their only loss, a 1-point loss to the Camarillo Scorpions. On 2nd and 21, 45 seconds left. Arianis with the handoff. Arianis picks up about 3 yards, and it will be 3rd and 18 as the clock continues to wind. And now a decision upcoming for Tony Henney. Do you just run out the clock here and go to half, or do you try for the first down? The clock now is ticked under 30 seconds.
I think right now you're looking at 3rd and 10.
3rd and 18.
Excuse me, 3rd and 18. This is a situation where you got to be careful here a little bit. But if you can pick up 10 yards, I'd say then he will go for it on 4th down.
Now down to 12 seconds left. So they have to go deep if they're looking for points. It will be another catch by Harold. Harold does not get close to the first down marker, and unless a timeout is called, that will be the final play of the first half, and it does indeed end the second quarter here at Bud Hauser Field. Kent Brown, George Contreras here on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. It's halftime. Yellowjackets of Oxnard lead the Seraphs of St. Bonaventure 7-6.
Wow.
This year's homecoming theme is Shanghai Sunset. The dance will be held tomorrow night at the Oxnard School Gym, beginning at 7:30 p.m. A reminder, raffle tickets are being sold today. $25 raffle tickets are grand prize. Disneyland 401 Day Tour raffle tickets, as well as a signed Dak Prescott jersey and helmet. watching here at Field B, just give me moments. And your score, Oxnard 7, St. Bonaventure 6. Vivian Breeze.
And we are back on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. 1st and 10, the Seraphs take over inside their own 10, and it is going to be no gain on 1st down. And for the recap, George, what just happened on the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter?
Well, one of the huge mistakes in the kicking game that Coach Henning's just pulling his hair up, sure. It was a kickoff fairly deep, about the 5-yard line, and the return man let the ball hit the ground. It took a high bounce over his head, did not get in the end zone. He went back and he got it, and he got popped, went to the ground with it, fumbled after he hit the ground, but it was ruled dead. But that could have been a disaster. It's a disaster for field position, to be sure.
2nd and 10, ball on the 5. Birup's going to roll to his right. Birup will take off. He will run up the sideline, tiptoes out of bounds, will be marked out at about the 9-yard line, so a pickup of 3.5, and it will be 3rd and 7 upcoming for St. Bonaventure. And that time, good coverage downfield, nobody open, and the quarterback takes what the defense gives him, but now a huge 3rd down awaits St. Bonaventure.
Right, and this is a situation, too, where St. Bonaventure's had problems all year long with their protection on punts. One of the big fears for Coach Henning was getting a punt blocked, and this is the situation he does not want to be in. They need to get the 1st down here.
11-12 remaining, 3rd quarter. Kent Brown and George Contreras here from Budhauser Field on the campus of Oxnard High School. On 3rd down, it's going to be caught at about the 15, which is where they needed to get. So depending on the mark, we will see if it's a 1st down. The officials are going to spot the football kind of right at that white line of the 15.
Which I think might be a little bit short.
Yeah, they have not given them a 1st down yet.
They're going to measure.
They will measure, so either 1st and 10 by maybe the nose of the football or 4th and inches. And from your own 15-yard line, I'm not sure necessarily you can afford to go for this.
Right, I don't think they can.
No.
But by the same token, they've had those snap problems this year on punts, so this could be a huge play for Oxnard if they held them.
10:59 remaining. It will be short. Short by, it looks to be about almost half of a football. And so now decision time for Tony Henney and the St. Bonaventure Seraphs. To recap this game, both quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown. Well, both quarterbacks have been moving the football pretty well. It was actually a Xavier Harris 32-yard rush on the first possession of the game for Oxnard. And then Gavin Birup found Benny Harold for 13 yards in the 2nd quarter. It will be 4th and 1. And it looks like St. Bonaventure's keeping its offense in the game.
Okay, now don't forget that Birup is the backup punter, so he might just launch one over the head here. It's a possibility.
And they did get an offsides earlier in the game, and they just got another offsides on 4th and 1. It happened earlier that gave a 1st down, and now the last thing you can do there pre-snap is to jump.
Yeah.
And it's a 1st down, and hey, you don't even need the snap.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that if they hadn't jumped, they wouldn't have just called a timeout and brought the punting team in.
Well,
a huge mistake there by the Oxnard defensive lineman.
It is win or go home here in the 1st round of the playoffs, and that could be a costly play as this game goes on. You mentioned earlier, George, that Coach Henney's plan was keep the ball away from the explosive playmakers of Oxnard, try to dominate time of possession, and when you get a 1st down like that, it's probably 2 to 3 more minutes that are coming off the clock, and it's a short gain on 1st down,
right,
but nonetheless, they have manufactured 1st downs seemingly all game, even though it's low scoring.
We'll talk second about a little bit about the emotions here of the game.
Yes. On 2nd and 8, it will be Arianis. About 3.5-yard pickup will be 3rd and 5. A tough run for James Arianis, the sophomore tailback. And now another big 3rd down upcoming for the Wyoming commit, Gavin Birup.
One of the things I've seen over the years is when you enter a game as a favorite, and I think most people would say that Oxnard at 9-1 is the favorite over a 5-4 St. Bonaventure team, is that if you score early and it's fairly simple, that you tend to relax. And I think since that first series, we've kind of seen that from the Oxnard offense. And St. Bonaventure continues to just hang around. Whoa, look
On
out.
third down, the ball comes loose. It's a turnover as Bearup could not get the pass off. It fell out of his hand, and a huge momentum-bringing play for Oxnard where they needed something like this, and St. Bonaventure just gave it to him.
Yeah, just an unforced error. He just simply dropped the ball. He started his throwing motion with no one around him.
And for Oxnard, not able to score since their first possession of the game, they are now knocking on the door just outside the 20-yard line.
This is probably their best field position, as I recall.
Absolutely. They've had good field position. They started at midfield once, but they have not started in opponent's territory, certainly not at the opponent's 21. On first down, it's going to be Harris. Harris will pick up about 4 yards, and it will be second and medium.
I think what you're going to see here, too, with this particular drive and start the third quarter, I think Oxnard's going to go back to what do we do best? And the thing we do best is run the football with Xavier Harris. So this is the time to kind of ride the back of that guy and get the ball in the end zone and use their experience. They've got, as I said before, they have 4 offensive linemen who started all last year on their CF finalist team. So start riding the guys with experience and get the ball down the field.
7-6, Yellowjackets lead. 8:55 remaining in the third quarter. A playoff game, Division 5, first round. Winner goes on to the quarterfinals next week. Harris has it. Harris inside the 20, inside the 10, down to the 5, near the goal line. The official calls a touchdown. 18 yards for Xavier Harris, his second of the night. And Oxnard takes advantage of the turnover, and 2 plays later gets the score.
Yeah, that's what a good team does, is when they get a break like that, they do take advantage of it. The other thing you saw there, Coach Moreno said that if you put Xavier Harris on a track team, that he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's got football speed. On the field, you'll see guys who are track players, or runners, I should say, that he runs right by them. So he's, again, gliding and slashing and knows where the end zone is. Just a great ball player to watch.
Smoke is filling the student section side of this, and there looks to be maybe offsides on the defense here.
Going for 2.
Now the team comes in. It will be a 2-point attempt, 13-6, as Harris gets the score. So now the ball is inside the 2-yard line. Let's see if you can punch it in.
Well, so far we're only a few minutes into the third quarter, but this has been a series of St. Bonaventure mistakes, starting with the kickoff that they did not field, the unforced error of fumbling the football, now jumping off sides and giving them a chance for a 2-point opportunity. St. Bonaventure's got to get themselves back under control. It's still a long ways to go, and it's still a close game no matter what happens here. But
and though you get 2 here, it's a 2-possession game. It's a 9-point edge. Jones is not in for this play. It will be Harris on the direct snap, and unable to get any yardage. Harris loses a few yards, so it does remain a 7-point game as the 2-point rush is no good. So Oxnard leads 13-6 over the St. Bonaventure Seraphs. 8:42 remaining in the third quarter, and it's playoff football. It's November football, and after that last possession, it was pretty clean first half. Not turnover filled. The big turnover there led to a short field and the score. Now it'll be interesting, George, to see how St. Bonaventure steps up after that big turnover.
Well, let's see if they just field the ball in the air on this kickoff. That would be big. Part of the decision they're going for 2. One of the problems that Oxnard's had over the years is their extra point team with the snap, the hold, or the kick. It's not been one thing, but it's been one of those 3 things has happened to them. So they're very, very concerned with that perfect snap, perfect hold, perfect kick situation. So going for 2 there after the penalty was probably a no-brainer for Coach Moreno.
But no Jaden Jones in the game on that play.
Yeah, that's unusual.
They decided to go with the direct snap to Harris, and he was unable to get it. 7-point lead. Oxnard once led 7-0, and the Seraphs closed it to 7-6. So they have been down this many points before here tonight. This time it will be kicked off, and it is caught in the air.
Go.
Now past the 20, up to the 25, close to the 30-yard line, and it looks like linesmen will come in right at the 30, so much better field position instead of at their own 5.
Not a great return, but a good solid return. You get to the 30, it's solid. You get to the 40 or farther, it's a great return. So I'm sure Coach Henning's happy with that one after what happened on the previous one.
Let's go through a few score updates. As we said, it's 13-6 here. Camarillo ahead of Damien now in the third quarter, 20-14. They trailed. The Scorpions trailed 14-13 at the break. Oaks Christian trails Upland 21-17 at the half. We'll continue to hopefully give you more scores here as this night goes on. On first down, it's Arianis with a good gain. One of the better first down rushing gains they've had all night.
Well, they didn't jump off sides. That's the first thing. Arianis, who's only a sophomore, boy, he has looked good tonight. He's run tough. He's kind of glides a little bit going through the hole. I'm impressed with that young man, and Coach Henny's going to have him around for 2 more years.
Yeah, good gain of 5. 2nd and 5, ball on the 36-yard line. 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Okay,
it is
what's coming?
Home playoff game, homecoming, and senior night here for the Yellowjackets. And Arianis follows his blockers, gets into Yellowjackets territory, and he rips off 17 yards.
And I will say again, Coach Henny felt that one of the keys to them being successful tonight was that his offensive line would have to play the best game they've played all year. And I think they were really playing well against a quality opponent. They're doing a very nice job.
Yeah, and this is one of those games that as it goes on longer and it's close, I think the pressure falls on the home team.
Oh, I'd say so, yeah.
The Serifs can continue to keep this within striking distance or go right down here and score. That puts a ton of pressure on Jaden Jones and this Oxnard team to answer.
Yeah.
1st and 10, ball on the Yellowjackets' 48-yard line. This possession started at their own 30, so 22 yards so far on just a couple plays. It'll be a quarterback keeper, a short gain of about 2. I'd give him 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, so solid first down. We'll take 3 or 4 there if you're on the offensive side of the ball.
And clock continues to run.
Clock is running. Again, that's one of the things that St. Bonaventure wants to happen. They want to keep Jaden Jones and Xavier Harris on the bench watching. And with Beerup, they feel very confident. They've got a chance to still be in this ballgame. It only takes one good throw here, and they're back in it.
Beerup, the 6'4", 190-pound senior signal caller, trips to the top of your screen. The handoff is Arianis near the marker, about a yard short. It will be 3rd and 1, and they're starting to get this offensive line creating holes. For the first time tonight, they've put together a group of runs that have been strong on a possession.
Right, I'm very impressed by this. Oxnard has an excellent defensive front 7, and right now in this drive, St. Bonaventure starting to kind of dominate a little bit.
You know what else is nice is we haven't been calling those Oxnard linebackers as much.
Yeah.
So if you're a Serif, you're pretty happy. You're not hearing Hutchinson, Ennis, and Lopez's names every time.
And we got an offsides.
And it looks like it was offsides coming on. I think that was, speaking of Hutchinson, he came through the neutral zone on, waiting for the blitz, waiting for the snap, and 5-yard penalty will give another first down to St. Bonaventure.
I think there give credit to Beer for changing up the snap count.
That's 3 tonight.
Voice inflections, things like that. Again, it's a 5-yard penalty, first down, keeps the ball in their hands.
3 times tonight, an offsides from Oxnard has given St. Bonaventure a first down. Something to keep in mind as this game goes on. Beerup will throw it wide, incomplete, intended for Caleb Carfaro, and it will be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think even if he'd caught that miracle catch, he would have fallen out of bounds on that thing. Solid pressure there by the outside pressure by the 2 defensive ends from Oxnard on Beerup that time.
We are exactly at the midway point of the third quarter, 6 minutes remaining, potentially 18 minutes left of game time for one of these schools in 2019. As it is a playoff game, the Division V winner goes on to the quarterfinals next week. Oxnard trying to get back to where they were last year and get to a championship game. On 2nd down, it's incomplete. That was intended for the tight end. It was dropped by Handworker, and Beerup gets hit in the backfield, and now there's a very late flag. Extracurriculars are going to call the personal foul on the Yellowjackets. That will be another penalty-aided first down for St. Bonaventure, and this crowd not happy. That flag came in very late.
I thought it was a good hit on Beerup, but I thought it was a clean hit. I didn't think it was late, and what I agree with you, the flag came in way late. I thought there would have been some kind of mouthing off or something.
I thought it was going to be unsportsmanlike maybe, and they called the roughing the passer. It appeared like he kind of got him right about the chest.
Yeah, and part of it was just the timing of it. He was hit as he was throwing. So
maybe leading with the helmet, something like that.
Well, that would be a different penalty.
Right.
It wouldn't be roughing the passer. So this is what a team like St. Bonaventure needs against a quality opponent like Oxnard. Oxnard's they're probably making more mistakes along these kinds of penalties than they've had all year.
On this drive alone, 3 penalties for 25 yards. All 3 have resulted in a St. Bonaventure first down. That is one way to stay alive in this game. If you
absolutely.
are the Seraphs, take the penalty yardage, take the first downs, and now the ball is at the 20 in the red zone with 5:35 remaining in the third quarter. Bierup back to pass. Pocket holds up. Bierup will take up out over the middle. He gets inside the 15 to about the 12. A good gain, actually all the way down to the 10, so it will result in the first down.
Yeah.
He needed 10, picked up 10, and he went right up the middle untouched till he got to that marker.
But, we've got some big hitters here for Oxnard High School in their secondary and linebacker core. I think the better part of Al there might be to just slide and keep going. Bierup, he's a big part of that offense. If they lose him, I don't know if they have a backup quarterback.
Yeah, listed Daniel Duran would be the sophomore backup quarterback, but pretty safe to say it would be a position that St. Bonaventure would not feel great about.
No.
First and goal, ball on the 10. 3 wide, 2 backs in the backfield, and it will be handed to Arianis, and he slips for a loss of 1, second and goal.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame this on the turf. That's just bad footwork mechanics. He tried to push off of his cut side foot instead of planning off the offside foot.
And the defense was there anyway.
Yeah, and so, that's just a recipe for a fall down and lose a yard probably.
Second and goal, ball on the 11. Clock winds down, under 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. We are pleased to be here on the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. Kent Brown and George Contreras at Bud Hauser Field. Division 5 playoff game, first round, homecoming, and senior night, all thrown into one with the CIF playoffs here at Oxnard. Man in motion. Bierup fakes it to the tailback. Bierup looking to his left, throws in double coverage, and it's intercepted. That time, the defense guessed right, and it was Barbosa making the play. Carlos Barbosa was there. He was ready, and he threw in the double coverage and paid for it.
Exactly. There was 2 people there. Just throw that thing away at that point and live for the next play. So Oxnard came up with a big play when they needed it. Barbosa's the guy.
3 penalties on that drive, kept it alive 3 different times, but the defense holds, gets the interception in the end zone, and now 2 turnovers on 2 possessions here in the second half for the Seraphs.
Yeah, that's really hurts them. The 1 turnover stopped a touchdown or created a touchdown for Oxnard, and this one stopped a touchdown for St. Bonaventure. So there's about a 14-point swing right there.
And the mood swing changed on our side here because it went from boos after the late hit or roughing the quarterback to cheers across the board as we are in the Oxnard side of the football field. On first down, it's a gain of 4. It will be 2nd and 6. And now we are in this time with 3:55 remaining in the third quarter. If there's one more explosive Xavier Harris touchdown, that changes everything.
Yeah, we're running out of time. We're running out of possessions. The way things are going right now, I'd say St. Bonaventure at the most has 3 possessions left.
And that's probably if they force a turnover.
Right. So it might only be 2 possessions here. So it's really incumbent on the defense for St. Bonaventure to just stop them here as quickly as they can.
It has been a low possession game on both sides. Oxnard capitalized earlier this quarter after a turnover. It was a 21-yard touchdown drive. There's going to be a flag in the play pre-snap. Delay of game on the offense.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Moreno, when if they win this ball game on Monday, they'll be talking about these penalties.
Oh yeah,
because it's really just it's been a big factor in keeping St. Bonaventure in the game, quite frankly.
2nd and 11. Well, the Seraphs have had 2 turnovers offensively this quarter. They'd love to force one here and try to get the ball back and give their offense a short field, just the way Oxnard had their short field earlier this quarter. 2nd and 11. Everybody pretty tight to the line. Man in motion's Lamalu. They fake it to him, hand it to Harris. Harris has it going left side. Harris, a good gain. Yep. Nothing spectacular, but he took what the defense gave him, picked up about 3 or 4 yards, and it will be 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, he ran laterally. It looked like he ran for a lot of yardage, which he did, but it was sideways to get his 4. But we're still looking at, what, a 3rd and 6?
Yeah,
manageable.
Very manageable. And then also Jaden Jones with his legs. You have to watch out for it here. He showed that earlier in this game where there was nothing doing. Mm-hmm. He kept the play alive and found the fullback Ayala. But make no mistake, he can take off and run and pick up the first down here as well.
Absolutely.
Seraph showing pressure coming from the left side. The pressure gets home.
Oh, look out.
Jones throws deep, and it is caught by Fonts. Is it inbounds? Is it out of bounds? The officials will determine.
I think it's
They are going over it. Incomplete.
out of bounds.
A great effort from Aaron Fonts. Jones was drilled on the play, and it will now be 4th down. So a good job from the Seraphs defense. St. Bonaventure holds, and Oxnard has to punt with 2:35 remaining in the third quarter.
Great athleticism there by the receiver. If he'd been playing in Canada, he would have been in bounds, but he was probably about a yard out of bounds.
A good hold for the Seraphs after they had the turnover in the end zone. A must stop on that drive.
And don't forget, we've had snap problems for Oxnard. The last time they punted, it was a high one that the punter handled.
Caleb Carfaro back as the return man, lined up at his own 44.
Good snap.
Good snap.
Not a good kick.
Punt is wrapped.
Might get a roll.
It does get an Oxnard roll as
big
Carfaro.
roll.
That ends up getting about 15 yards of roll as it landed at the 50 and went to the 35. So a good net punt, ultimately
about 40 yards.
41 yards is the net, and you'll take that every time in high school football.
Absolutely. That's one of the nice things. Again, I think the ball went off the side of his foot, but I really like when teams do directional punting. Why punt the ball straight down the field to their best guy? Make it go sideways where he won't field it, and usually that roll is going to go for 10, 15 yards.
Absolutely.
As it did right there.
Let's see a couple scores. Grace Brethren ahead of Westlake, 21-17, late third, and that's one of those weird ones where Grace Brethren's the home team, wearing their home uniforms, playing at Westlake in the playoffs.
Right. The both this year because of the field being renovated at Cameron High School. Cameron High School has used Moorpark College as their home field, as does Grace Brethren, who's done that for the last 2 or 3 years. And I'm not sure why, but they got the field tonight as opposed to Grace Brethren.
Speaking of it, Camarillo now up 13 points early in the fourth quarter. In that one, Pacifica leading Miracosta 28-3 as Malik Sherrod had a 72-yard interception return for a touchdown. Derry Eads gave us that on our VCS Preps on Twitter. Follow us all night with more score updates. On first down, open, completed. Carfaro to the 43-yard line. That is a strike of about 23 yards. Move the chains in plus territory again. A beautiful throw and a great route. And you said it, like, there's that slant, those post routes, those have been there all night.
They're not getting much help from safeties. They're not lined up with a safety half the time.
Right.
Fonts got beat to the inside, but boy, when the guy caught it, he put a pretty good hit on the receiver. I like what I see of this young man playing both sides of the football and playing at a high level.
1st and 10, ball at the 43, 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. St. Bonaventure trails Oxnard 13-6. Handoff.
Yeah, for at least the one play because they had to stop time for him. St. Bonaventure is a little bit thin in the offensive line this year, so losing him even for a play is going to be a big issue.
Let's do right now. We said we would get to this during the course of the game. We had the tri-tip earlier. All three of us, Anthony Placencia, our producer, myself, Kent Brown, and you, George Contreras, we all had the tri-tip moments before the game, in reality, as the line was long, and we said, we're not leaving this line. We're getting it, and we'll bring it back to the press box.
Yeah, it was a good, solid. The bread was nice and moist. I like that. The barbecue sauce was tremendous, and the tri-tip itself was good. I would say this was a very, very solid one. But this being our last game of the season that we're going to do for the Star podcast, I'd have to give my overall ranking this year is going to go to St. Bonaventure High School for their tri-tip burrito, which was outstanding. their tri-tip sandwich was good, but the tri-tip burrito, because I had to test both just for scientific purposes that night, was just out there. So they should maybe close down the school and just open up a restaurant and make us all happy on a regular basis.
Now I'm upset I missed that week. I was not in town for that one. And the tri-tip burrito from St. Bonaventure, hey, if they can do a burrito that way, who's to say they can't come back from 7 points down tonight?
That
it's going to be on second down, and you're right. The defensive front says not so fast, and who else but Titus Hutchinson back there making a play along with his defensive front. Jacob Murillo, Isaiah Garcia, and Damian Reyes.
They just stormed the Bastille on that one. There was no time for beer up. So when that one lineman went out for St. Bonaventure, it was blood in the water, and here they came. I would like to say, too, back to our tri-tip thing, I originally kind of devalued St. Bonaventure because they were selling tri-tip burritos and tri-tip sandwiches on a Friday, the whole Catholic school thing that I went to, and knowing that back in the day I would have gone straight to purgatory at least for eating a meat on a Friday. But I've overcome that, and I'm good with their food.
Hey, if it's good, might as well eat it.
Yeah, if you're gonna go to purgatory, go on a full stomach. That's always been my philosophy.
On third and very long, it ends up being a quick screen pass and then almost towards the sticks. A good effort from the wide receiver, Benny Harold. They don't get the yardage, but I think they're going to gamble. If they if they lined up from their own 15 on 4th and 1, you know they're going to go for 4th and 4.
That was a good play. That they got over half of what they needed back, and now it's just a 4th and 5, which is not perfect. But I think in this situation, you're probably going to have to go for it. See, we have a free safety lined up for Oxnard for once. So, guy jumped offsides again, I think.
And that will result in another first down, unless they called a timeout.
No, I think they called a quarter. Yep.
That is the end of the quarter. It does end the third quarter. And with that, we want to remind you today's broadcast is a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers. Also follow us on Twitter at VCS Preps. We just said Derry Eads out there covering some of the games. We have writers everywhere, Ventura County football. It is playoff time here in November. This is also the Ventura Orthopedics game of the week from the Ventura County Star. With 20 doctors, 5 locations in Ventura County, all with one goal in mind, to get you back in the game. Ventura Orthopedics specializes in sports medicine, general orthopedics, pain management, pediatric, and MRI. Ventura Orthopedics offers exceptional therapy services featuring 26 highly skilled physical and occupational therapists. Learn more at venturaortho.com or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. 13-6, beginning of the fourth quarter, a crucial 4th and 4 awaits Gavin Bierup, the senior quarterback, 6'4", 190 pounds, Wyoming commit, Division I prospect, headed to the Mountain West. 4 wide, they line up 2 to the top of your screen and 2 here to the bottom.
Just trying to get them to jump off sides, I think.
They've already done it 3 times. Bierup will pass. Bierup goes across the middle, intercepted. The third turnover in 3 possessions this half for the Seraphs. Lamalu is going to go inside the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Yellowjackets. There is a flag down on the return. I don't know if it's post-play or if it's during the return. We'll have to wait and see.
I think that might have been post-play, but big pick 6 there, and as you said, it's been 3 turnovers now in the last 3 series for Oxnard, profiting by all of them.
And Lamalu, that went for about 80 yards as he caught it deep in his own territory, returned it the other way. We'll have to see if it's during the play and the touchdown stands. I believe it was post-touchdown.
Yeah, one of the things that at this point looks like Oxnard is going to move on to next week, personal foul on Oxnard.
Personal foul, Oxnard, but they haven't signaled if the touchdown is good, though.
Let's see. One of these you have to be careful with, too, for Oxnard, if they do go on.
Oh, and one on the other side.
If there's an ejection, that player is out today and all of next week.
Yep.
So, especially now that they're up by 2 scores and what looks like, I think the way things are going, it's pretty much in Oxnard's hands right now. The Yellowjackets don't want to lose a kid when they're up by 2 touchdowns here at the end of the ball game.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's something that could happen if they just don't calm down and just keep playing football.
So 2 personal fouls. The touchdown does stand, so it is post-play with 11:44 remaining. Great interception from Tanelu Lamalu, and this defense has made plays. They took advantage of an unforced error for a 21-yard touchdown earlier, and then you had Barboza on one side, and now Lamalu. The cornerbacks are coming up huge here. Yeah,
Lamalu is one of their key football players, offensively and defensively. Coach Moreno said when I talked to him this week that Lamalu's hands are just fantastic. He said most guys warm up, catching with 2. He goes, he warms up every day just with one-handed catches, and they're all highlight reel kind of things. So
the PAT is up, and it is through as Oxnard builds the largest lead of the game, 20-6.
Yeah, my concern right now on with this lead is can we just keep everyone under control and calm and just playing football? and not getting involved in extracurriculars or just losing your poise and composure. You know, we always talk, there's an announcement they make before every playoff game about playing under strict code of sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And we need to get back to that here. We're getting away from the fundamental process of what we're supposed to be doing here. Now, that's playing, yes, a physical game, but within its rules. And you know, there's plenty of chances during the game to hit someone. You don't need these extracurricular things going on. They're just really a waste.
So now the kickoff will occur.
They can keep these to 4 or 5 yard gains on passes.
Absolutely. 11:39 remaining in the fourth quarter. 5 yards is going to be tough to win when you're down 14 going 5 yards a pop. Bierup fakes the handoff, has the first down over the middle. A nice completion. That time I believe it was Declan Handworker, the tight end, with that catch. It was. And so a good pickup of about 16 yards for the first down.
Good solid play. Now, the Yellowjackets, now they're playing with a secondary that's backed off. And
instead of having no safeties, they have a couple out there.
Yeah, there's a couple out there.
Deep
and
safeties.
Now you got to be careful that you don't start giving up 15-yard plays consistently. 5 yards we can live with, but they got to find the happy medium here. Whoa, look out.
And there's a fumble. It could be the fourth turnover of the half. They're fighting for the football. It appears Oxnard has it. Another late flag. The Yellowjackets have it. It was a poor exchange as Bierup handed it to Arianes. The ball popped up in the air.
Yeah.
And for the fourth straight possession, St. Bonaventure turns it over. The late flag will be assessed post-play, and it is Oxnard ball up 14.
Yeah, they looked to me like the snap was a little high, and when he went to hand it off, he wound up hitting Arianes in the shoulder pad, and that kicked it out. And this penalty is against Oxnard.
Post-play, after a post-possession change, I believe.
Yes.
So it will be Oxnard with the 14-point edge with the ball, but instead of having it inside the 40, it gets brought back to their own 49. You'll still take it if you're the Yellowjackets, but another late penalty after the play.
This is like watching the Raiders in the old days. So this is as you go through the playoffs, every week theoretically, every game is harder. Because the other team won too that they're going to play next week.
Yeah.
And as it gets harder and tougher, you can't be making these mistakes and expect to win going down the road here. So this is something that Oxford's got to really, really clean up here in a week.
Yeah, Jaime Moreno,
if they hang on, too.
Coaching his team potentially to their 10th win of the season. They fake the handoff to Vasquez. Now Jones pass down the sideline. It's complete. A great grab from who else? Xavier Harris.
Yeah, and that was a great catch, great throw, fantastic pass protection. Jones had all day to throw that thing, and Harris showed his athleticism. We think of him as a big running back, but boy, that looked like a fine wide receiver as well. Good athlete.
And that time you get the running back on a linebacker, Elijah Owens, and Owens, he was in position but just could not make the play. Didn't have the ball skills the way Harris did.
And if you joined us late, besides being a great player, this Harris kid is being recruited by Columbia, so he's a fine student as well.
Potentially going to go to New York City, Ivy League. Also looking at some schools like Montana and some of the powerhouse FCS schools across the country as well. So his choices
good.
We'll be out there for sure. And then Aaron Fonts, also there's been Mountain West offers like Colorado State, Montana also after him. So a couple of these skill position players for this Oxnard team will keep things going, whether it's a win or loss here tonight. This won't be the end of Harris or Font's career by any means. And right now it looks pretty good that they'll get a game next week.
Okay, if I could mention too, our producer, Anthony Placencia, his daughter brought us some chocolate-covered fortune cookies, which might be the greatest thing ever invented. These are pretty good, especially the second one.
The pass pocket holds up now, but that time nothing open. Good coverage downfield, and it results in a
the secondary for St. Bonaventure's done very, very well tonight. But what I really like about the Jones kid, again, only a junior, he'll be back again next year, is his poise. He doesn't get rattled, and really, as I said before, he's a very, very good leader by example. And next year, I think he'll be taking over a little bit more of that verbal leadership role as well when he's a senior.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, his poise has shown throughout every contest this year. And they only lost a 1-point loss on the season. Right. And at no point tonight did he look out of sync, rattled. He's missed some throws, he's made some mistakes. But overall, you can live with that. He's had a very smart night as a quarterback.
He's been very, very impressive. And as much as Xavier Harris was heralded, I'd say right now the guy that stands out to me overall has been Jones with his poise.
On 2nd and 20, here's Jones. He will dump it off to Vasquez. Vasquez inside the 30, down to about the 23-yard line, so a good gain of 10 on that play. And now it ends up being, I guess you'll mark it off at about 9 yards, so 3rd and 11 upcoming with 9:45 remaining.
And, we'll see what happens here as this drive ends, but I've been very impressed by the St. Bonaventure defense tonight. I think they've done overall a good job of keeping the game close.
Even this half, the longest touchdown drive they gave up was a 21-yard drive. The other one was a pick six.
Offense for most of the game.
On 3rd and 11, Jones will throw the screen back to Harris. There's a flag in the backfield. Harris crosses the 10, down to the 5. Another flag thrown at the 10. So 3 flags on the field, 2 in the backfield, 1 down by the 10 as Harris got to the goal line. But now it's just a matter of which penalty you'll take, and you'll take one of the ones from the backfield.
Yeah, I think we'll take one of those. Yeah, there's so many yellow flags on the field. It reminds me of our old friend Jim O'Brien, who was announcer at Thousand Oaks High School for many years, and when he saw these many flags one time, he goes, "That reminds me, there's nachos on sale in the snack bar."
If they're a little bit bigger, it'd be like the terrible towel back in Pittsburgh. But
now, once again, we've lost a potential touchdown because of holdings back here. These things...
It's been a sloppy game.
It's been very sloppy, and I think because of the emotional aspect of it from from 75 minutes before the game even started, I think this has really been hurting Oxnard and really has kept St. Bonaventure in the game.
Do you think part of it might be the whole element of we've now thrown, not that it matters altogether, but you have the senior night, you have the homecoming. It's a very unique environment for a playoff game that maybe there's just a lot going on here that you would never have for a CIF
I've always,
contest.
as a coach, I always felt, homecoming was always, a pain in the rear end because there's so many. We got the dance tomorrow, and who's the king, and can I do this, can I do that? You've got all those kinds of issues, and usually
it will be 3rd and 28. Jones takes off. Jones gets past the original sticks, gets all the way down inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. So he picked up 23. So now it's 4th and 5. A great decision by Jones to take off.
Which he's done all night. And when he goes, he's pretty fast. But getting back to the homecoming issue, normally if you look at people's schedules, you normally schedule your homecoming game against the weakest team you can find on your home schedule. Number one, so you can win and the distractions aren't going to affect you that much. And number two, because if you are playing a bad team, usually the gate's kind of small and more people are going to come on your side just to watch all the homecoming festivities. Well, now you got that mental issue that you have to deal with, and now you're playing a playoff game. So it's probably part of what's hurt Oxnard tonight.
Yeah, I feel like for coaches, the more you can concentrate on football and not everything else, the better everything usually is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always hated it, too, when you had one of your players is on the homecoming court, and they want him out here at halftime, and you want him over there, and it's just, a crazy, crazy situation.
Now, what have you, with Italian football, you're over in Italy, you coach over there. Mm-hmm. What extracurriculars or what gets done during a football game there that's drastically different than here in the United States?
The only thing that can be different over there is if the cigarette machine breaks, then we're in deep trouble. But other than that, there's none of that. It's just such a fun thing, and you're dealing with adults, so that's a lot different deal. But we don't have homecomings, and we don't have those kinds of things. But we do have rivalry games, and like any time you do have a rivalry, it brings its own set of problems.
Well, the one beautiful thing about homecoming here, you have the band out, you have the crowd, you get the alumni coming back tonight. As I said, class of 79 here cheering on their high school as Oxnard is 8 minutes and 50 seconds away from getting the victory and moving to the quarterfinals of the Division 5 CIF playoffs.
And you look across the way, the St. Bonaventure stands are almost packed. The home side here looks really packed from what I can see.
On 4th and 5, Jones finds a receiver inside the 5 down to the 1 yard line. A great throw, a pickup of 15, and it's 1st and goal from the 1.
That's number 25, I think it is.
Marcus Bustillos on the reception, his second of the game.
And Mr. Jones comes through again.
Yes. Jones has been not an unsung hero anytime you're the quarterback, but we talk so much about the rest of these guys. and yet Jones, when he's needed to make the play, has made it all night.
Yeah, and I think the thing here, as we said before the game, Coach Henney said they needed to stop Harris to win this ball game, and overall they've controlled him fairly well.
First and goal on the 1. Harris crosses the goal line, gets in for the 3rd time tonight. Xavier Harris, and it's now 26-6 with 8:39 remaining.
Yeah, I think that's probably the final nail in the coffin here for the Saints, for the Seraphs, I should say. Again, I was getting back to the defense, and Harris, nice touchdown run there. Tough guy getting that 1 yard, but overall, yardage-wise, I think the Seraphs are going to be pretty happy with what they've done to him. The beautiful thing here for Mr. Jones, he did a great job of stepping up. He took away our number 1 weapon. Okay, Jaden said, I'm going to do the job, and he did it both with his legs and his throwing, as well as his poise just on the field and his leadership. So a good football team is going to find a way to win, and Oxnard's done that.
Fonts gets the hold down. The kick is up, and it is no good as it's pushed wide. So Oxnard leads by 20, and yes, it was 3rd and 28. Jones takes what the defense gives him, makes a couple guys miss, gets 23, and then on 4th and 5, strikes it down to the 1 yard line. So a really good job from the quarterback on that drive. Ventura Orthopedics has one goal: to get you back in the game. The doctors are well versed in the special orthopedics needs of both the amateur and professional athlete. Many of their physicians currently serve as team doctors for most of the area high schools and community colleges. 20 doctors, 26 physical therapists, all with an athlete's best health performance in mind. Learn more at venturaortho.com today or call to schedule an appointment at 800-698-1280. That's 800-698-1280 or venturaortho.com.
Now, I think one of the things that you need to be concerned of, your Coach Moreno, this game is pretty much in hand now. You might want to be careful that you don't get some of your key players hurt that you're going to need next week.
Or
get
just
some of your
tossed
kids
out.
Yeah, or tossed out, exactly. And, especially if things, escalate more. Those are the negative things that can happen. So I think you're better off at this point getting some of your backup players in, especially Harris's backup and Jones's backup to get some experience here in the next series. And really, we're looking at right now, we're probably talking at most 2 series for St. Bonaventure, 1, maybe 2 for Oxnard, and it's over.
Here's a couple score updates. Grace Brethren now leading Westlake 35-24 early in the 4th quarter. At the end of the 3rd quarter, Pacifica 35, Miracosta 10, as it looks like the battle for Gonzales Road, both Pacifica and Oxnard well on their way to victories here in the first round of the playoffs.
Hey, no penalty flags. Awesome.
That's almost every level of football now. I swear, about 70% of the time you see a flag on a kick return.
Well, the NFL has been talking about just getting rid of kickoffs entirely for safety reasons, and really for that one too. It seems like you're right. Every play there's a pushing the back by somebody.
Couple other scores. We're looking at Oak Park ahead of Maranatha, 42-13, and you told me a guy named LeVar Arrington coaching over there near Pasadena, former North Hills Indian, a Pittsburgh, PA native like myself, and a Penn State Nittany Lion, and they have a big game against the undefeated Golden Gophers tomorrow.
You can't say Indians. That's illegal, isn't it?
There's a couple of them out there.
Okay, all right.
There's the Penn Hills, where Aaron Donald went. They're the Penn Hills Indians.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron Donald's high school is still that. So there's a few out there in Western PA.
Yeah, one of the things I really kind of don't like with the refereeing right now is we've had a couple passes out there in the flat, and they're very late on blowing that whistle.
Yes.
If it's blow that thing a little bit quicker so we don't get somebody hurt out here.
Somebody gets tackled in the open field there. Just blow it dead. Make sure everyone knows it was an incomplete pass.
Right.
2nd and 10.
We got
Not a great stat this half. 4 possessions, 4 turnovers for the Seraphs of St. Bonaventure. On 2nd and 10, it's Bierup running for his life, gets out of bounds after a loss, and it will now be 3rd and long with 8:17 remaining. And we gave a lot of praise to the St. Bonaventure defense. We have to give a lot of praise to this Oxnard defense this half. 1 unforced turnover, but the other 3, especially in the secondary, they took advantage of it.
They've done a good job themselves. It's been a good display by both defenses, as you say. But this second half certainly belongs to the Oxnard defense. They've made the plays that they've had to, and those big plays, the interception for the touchdown, those are all huge plays in turning this thing around. And now they pretty much have got Bierup under control at this point.
Bierup, the senior quarterback, 8:17 left, down 20 points. Pressure's coming from both sides. They bring the corner blitz, and Jarrell Samuel gets home, gets the sack. Barbosa also back there. That was a well-timed blitz call, and they perfectly executed it, and now it's 4th down.
Well, we said earlier, Coach Moreno's staff, defensive staff, wanted to put pressure on Bierup and try and force some things, and
corner blitzes are pretty, aren't they?
They are if they're timed well, and that the young man made a perfect timing on thing, and he had help because he had people coming up from the inside, so he was able to finish that off. But this is getting back to what we've said earlier. You said earlier the Oxnard defense is really, really coming to play now. Just avoid turnovers, I should say penalties, and put this thing away.
Yeah, at this point, up 20. I think a lot of handoffs to Harris. This is going to be a punt that goes off the side of the foot and goes to about maybe the 43-yard line. They'll mark it off at the 42, so it is only a 24-yard punt, and it will be a great field position and a 20-point lead awaiting the Oxnard Yellowjackets here with 7:26 remaining.
Okay, and Jaden's back in. Mr. Jones is back in at quarterback. I'm not sure if Harris is in or not. I can't see him.
I see Fonts out there. I see Jones. I can't necessarily see the running backs yet. Right now they're going spread. They have Ayala, the fullback, in, but no Harris currently in on this play.
It's jet sweep.
That's jet sweep. Actually, there was Harris, so they faked it to him. Now they will throw it down the sideline, and it's caught at the 20. So it was Harris lining up in the slot on the top. They faked it to him and then found the wide receiver, the bottom, Fred Vasquez, on the catch.
Vasquez has had a nice night tonight. He's got a few balls. That was a well-executed play, well-designed, and nice throw, good catch.
Well, I wasn't expecting a fake jet sweep throw for 25 yards on first down up 20, but they executed it well, and Vasquez comes up big again. He's another guy, we mentioned Fonts and Lamalu and the likes. Vasquez has made plenty of plays this year on first down. Another flag is thrown in the backfield. That time Harris made a guy miss, but it's all coming back.
Yeah, that was just a great single effort there by Harris. The first tackler had him for dead to rights for probably about a 4 or 5 yard loss, and put a little juke move on him, and was right by.
Well, he's using that intelligence. He probably knows exactly when to cut and move. If you can get an offer from Columbia, probably smart enough to know when to put your foot down and make a guy miss. But unfortunately for Harris, the offensive line didn't do its job. Another Oxnard penalty. They were adding up, and you mentioned when they start looking at this tape, they're going to win tonight, barring something drastic in the final 7 minutes. But there have been plenty of mistakes all around.
This sloppiness with the penalties, you're not going to win too many more games in the playoffs if you don't clean that up. Because as I said, it's every week the opponent by definition is tougher than the last one because they've won 2 games or 3 games or whatever it might be. So I think Oxnard's got a fine football team with some great weapons, but this is one part of it they've got to clean up now.
Harris has it. Harris inside the 25, inside the 20, makes a couple guys miss, down to the 15-yard line, and gets tackled at the 13. So a huge gain of 15. As you mentioned, maybe not the blazing track speed, but another flag in the backfield. And, well, has been all night. We have seen flags thrown. The first quarter, relatively speaking, not many. But as we got into the second quarter, as you mentioned, nachos are on sale down at the
and they might
the concession stand.
Yeah, they might be going for half price the way they're out here right now. This is, I think we're seeing the Oxnard offensive line, this experienced offensive line, starting to really dominate the line of scrimmage, but they have a hold here and a hold there.
Yeah, 4 seniors and 1 junior on that offensive line. Herrera, Cortez, Simmons, Ramos, and Petch.
Yeah.
And you can't have this in the playoffs. No, granted, they're going to almost definitely win this game, but now they're facing a 1st and 30 on this play. Jaden Jones makes a man miss.
Here he
Jones
goes.
now will take off. Jones rushes inside the 30 and slides.
That's a smart move with the score, such as it is.
And another flag in the backfield at the 41-yard line, and another hold. Well, you can tell the crowd's not too happy about this.
No, and I'm not too happy with it either. It's I mean, what are we talking about here? Probably we've seen 7, 8, 9 15-yard penalty or 10-yard penalties for holding.
And this one was in the backfield again.
Yeah, so. This is it's sloppy and it's not worthy of a team that's about to be 10-1 and a league champion. They really need to improve in this phase.
On the other hand, we have a first this year, and I believe maybe a first since I've been calling games out here in Southern California, a 1st and 41. I don't get to call that too often.
No.
So.
Well, you know, one of my favorite phrases, I actually use this, and I always love when I hear the guy on TV go, that was a well-designed play. and what I love about that is like, so, hey, let's put a play in that's going to go for -5. What do you think? Let's put that play in. Of course, every play is a well-designed play if you execute it.
And now officially down, it's actually 1st and 43.
Yeah,
so
I think that the biggest thing here on this next play is that they don't get another holding penalty. You know, I looked here to just get yourself 10 or 15 yards. Just keep the clock running at this point. Get yourself out of here.
Yep, exactly right. I mean, you're at 6 minutes left in this game. You're up 20 points. Just run the football.
Yeah, and right
kill
now,
the clock.
You know, as good as Jones is, well, you know, this number 11 kid's not bad. You might want to give him the ball a couple times. Here comes some beef.
Here's a final score. Camarillo survives, 34-28. They outlast Damien in the Division IV playoffs and will advance to the second round. So a huge win. It says Grady Liddell picked up the game-clinching first down with under a minute left. Also, Simi Valley ahead of Western 24-13 in their playoff game. Oak Park 45-13 now, Maranatha. And we're about ready for our 1st and 43. And another flag.
Delay of game?
Delay of game on the offense. So 1st and 48. Is this maybe now you just want to burn the clock? But if you were playing in the game early, you might just pooch punt it here and change the position. But knowing you want to burn 2 minutes, you're going to just run the ball.
Just run the ball.
And you're up 20.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you what the words the Italian fans would say if this was happening there.
Oh, it starts with an F too, but it's a different one. Well,
First
actually, it's not.
48. Jaden Jones back to pass, which is surprising. Now Jones will take off, get out of bounds. With 5:21 remaining, it's second and about 43.
Yeah, and I get back to my concern for Oxnard's key players. It's 4. What did you say? We got 2 minutes left. I can't see the score.
5:21.
5:21. You're up by 2 scores.
Stay in bounds.
Number one, stay in bounds, and you know, don't put those guys in situations where injury is even more possible than normal.
Yeah, going back to pass there was surprising.
Yeah.
Feel like hand it off to a Harris or Ayala, or just have Jones just run into the line, basically.
Yeah. Go with that.
They're continuing with 4 wide. Jones from the shotgun. Harris remains the lone back. Second down and 44. Back to pass again. Jones is going to take off. Jones is going to stay in bounds this time.
Good.
Past the 50 to the 47. So a pickup of 6, and it will be 3rd and about 38.
3rd and 38. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, there's no penalty now on that play, is there?
I don't see any flags on the field. I see
awesome.
a white towel way in the defensive backfield, but
It's a wannabe.
That's one of the players' towels, so not quite the yellow that we've seen on the field here for seemingly the last 30 minutes. 3rd and 38. What's your call here on 3rd and 38 if you had to get it? Hope for defensive penalties.
If you had to get it, I want to do something that's going to get me about half of this distance, so about a 20-yard play.
Right.
So, you know, I would
20,
say
just run the football.
Yeah, get the ball in the hands of your best guy on your best play.
And now there's going to be a stoppage, a timeout called by Oxnard, and it's a very sloppy. It's going to be a nice win in the stat sheet where it's going to say 20-plus points, but it has not been the cleanest of 20-plus point wins. At Ventura Orthopedics, they offer state-of-the-art technology to ensure their patients receive the best care available. Always staying abreast of the latest developments in orthopedic medicine, the doctors and surgeons have been among the first in the community to perform many advanced orthopedic treatments, including total hip replacement. Learn more at VenturaOrtho.com today and let them help you get back in the game. Today's broadcast is also a product of the Ventura County Star, your local leader in high school sports for the Ventura County area. To support this broadcast and all of the year-round sports coverage by the sports team at the Star, sign up for a print or digital subscription to the Ventura County Star. Visit subscribe.vcstar.com to see all of our special offers, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at VCS Preps. This will be our final broadcast of the 2019 fall season. Do want to give a shout out here to Anthony Placencia, our producer, director, everything, every job imaginable in this broadcast, and even provides us some treats here with the chocolate-covered fortune cookies. George Contreras as well, Cam Molina, who filled in plenty of times, and Joe Curley this year. On 38, they go deep, they catch it, and it is a 47-yard touchdown, and I believe it's Xavier Harris again who comes in and makes the play. Actually, Aaron Fonts who makes the play. I couldn't see the pink plug, so he turns around. Jaden Jones, it's senior night, it's homecoming, it's playoff football, and they just went out in style, 47 yards.
You asked me what I'd call, get the ball in the hands of your best player. Who's your best wide receiver? It's Fonts.
Yeah.
And he was double covered, too, so that was a good throw. And just the young man Fonts just went up and got it, and that's why he's being recruited by some schools.
47-yard touchdown catch. Oxnard over St. Bonaventure, well on their way to the quarterfinals here in Division 5. Really one of the only thing weight is the PAT, which has been shaky tonight. There's been a couple missed PATs and a missed two-point conversion. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is through as Oxnard now builds a 33-6 lead. And again, we've done our broadcast throughout this fall. Also want to thank Cameron Molina for stepping in. He broadcasted 4 games with us, 1 with you, I believe 3 with me. Joe Curley as well. You mentioned the game that you had St. Bonaventure earlier this year with Hart. That was Joe stepping in. So a great team here at the Ventura County Star. And last week, unfortunately, with the fires, we were going to go to Santa Paula for the Fillmore-Santa Paula showdown. It did not happen. The game was canceled. And so we got you a little playoff bonus game here in the 2019 season. And it's been a fun one and a really fun game for Oxnard here tonight. Outside of a few of the mistakes, it is going to end up being a huge win. And Jaden Jones, what a throw. And more so, just what a complete package he seems to be as that junior starting quarterback.
No question. He's been fantastic all night long. That last throw was just symbolizes what he can do. Again, if we had $1,000 to give to the scholarship fund from Chevrolet, I think we'd give it in his name to Oxnard High School.
Absolutely. 33-6. This is going to be returned to about maybe the 18-yard line. St. Bonaventure will take over, probably for the final drive, maybe of his high school career. Gavin Bierup, the senior, on his way, as of now, committed to the University of Wyoming in the Mountain West. A team that, as we said, has had some pretty good success there the last several years with quarterbacks, including a first-rounder in Josh Allen. And Bierup has the size, he has the arm. It hasn't been his half.
No, and he's been under a lot of duress this half. He had the one unforced error, but really his the defense has done the number on him in this job. And when you get that much pressure too, you start hurrying your throws a little bit, and that's just kind of part and parcel of this second half. But it's really, barring all the penalties that we had, which have just been horrific. It's really been a second half where Oxnard really stepped it up, especially defensively. They made some great things, and Jones, Harris, and Fonts have all been outstanding on offense.
It was 7-6 at the half.
Oh, yeah.
the Seraphs had the football to start the third quarter. So it was definitely a game at that moment. And then even, remember, late stages or mid stages of the third quarter, it's 13-6.
Right.
The Seraphs are in the red zone. They throw an interception, and now there's another flag thrown in this game. And at this point, you just almost want there to be run 30 seconds, run 30 seconds, and get this thing over with.
And again, I'd be really, really concerned if I was Coach Moreno right now of getting any one of your key players thrown out here, which again would cost them playing in next week's quarterfinal game. So it's almost, as a referee, you almost want to just can we just get this thing over with and go home? I think it's well established who's going to win this one.
Here's another score update. Fillmore 28, South Pasadena 13 currently in that contest. Simi Valley 31-19 lead over Western. That game's still in the third quarter. Let's see a few others. Final Nordhoff 56, Glen 24.
Oh.
For the Rangers going on to the second round of Division 12 playoffs. As I said earlier, Camarillo hung on for a 34-28 win in their contest, so a huge win for the Scorpions.
Ken, if you're wondering about next week's game for Oxnard,
a nice tackle there in the open field. Jarrell Samuel, who came on the corner blitz last possession, and this time was able to light up Declan Handworker. But it's back to so Division 5 quarterfinals.
Right, quarterfinals. So Oxnard, we don't know if they'll be at home or on the road. Depends on who wins the other game. But they'll play the winner of Aquinas and Oak Hills. If Oak Hills won that game, then Oxnard will be on the road. If Aquinas won it, then there's already been a coin flip to determine who would have the home game next week. I have no clue who won that coin flip. So Oxnard will be moving on to play the winner of Aquinas and Oak Hills.
So the Yellowjackets trying to get back to where they were last year when they went to a championship game in Division 6. This year in Division 5, looking to get back and maybe get a championship. They're well on their way to their 10th win of the season here with just 2:51 remaining. 33-6 is the edge for the Yellowjackets. And at this point, I think
that was a fourth down play so deep in your territory.
You want to see if you can get it and maybe have one last gasp. But at this point for Oxnard, do you just maybe just take a knee here for 3 or 4 plays?
Well, you know what? How much time left? I can't see the scoreboard from where I'm sitting.
2:51.
2:51. You'd almost like to, just so that we don't get another,
There's Harris. Harris goes up. 10, 5, down to the 1 yard line.
Okay.
So a 14-yard pickup for Xavier Harris. They did run the football. Getting up slowly, though, there is one of the players, offensive lineman, comes up a bit gimpy, and he'll come out of the game. So you just mentioned it, George, where you do not want to see any injuries. Is that Juan Ramos, the right guard?
That's number 55.
Yeah, Juan Ramos, the starting right guard.
Yeah, and
so going into the game now, 73, Jaime Martinez.
Yeah,
and now you punch it in for a score again. Oxnard up 39-6 with 2:20 remaining.
Yeah, I've said this before. One of the things I don't like about this situation is, I think to whoever is the backup player for Harris and whoever is the backup quarterback for Jones, they practice too. And if you're ahead this far ahead, it'd be nice to get those guys some playoff experience for the future as well.
Yeah, or just when just for the rest of their careers, they can say, I had a touchdown in a playoff game, or I played in this playoff game.
Yeah, and I think it just would be good. 1, so you don't get a player thrown out. 2, so you don't get a guy hurt. And 3, so you develop some experience. And you've got all these guys who practice. And if they're not getting into a game when you're this far ahead this late in the game, then what's the point of coming to practice?
PAT is up and through, so 40-6 with 2:20 remaining. Well on their way, Oxnard towards a victory and moving on to the quarterfinals in Division 5. And it was 7-6 at the half, 33 straight points here. Aided by 4 turnovers and 1 turnover on downs for this Seraphs football team for St. Bonaventure. And St. Bonaventure's defense, as we said, held up pretty well. You can't expect them to keep holding up in these situations with the short field.
Well, Coach Henny's, one of his big offensive keys was controlling the ball, controlling the clock. In second half, they did not do that, and they put their defense out there way, way too long.
Score update, Josh Henderson adds another touchdown for Grace Brethren. Grace now leads Westlake 42-31 with 2:38 in that game. So it looks like the Lancers are on their way to a victory with an 11-point edge and just 158 seconds to go in that game. 40-6 is our score. This will be our final broadcast of the season. We thank you so much all year tuning in to the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week from the Ventura County Star. This kickoff is going to be caught at the 8-yard line. It'll be returned up to about the 13 as Carfaro was hit with nowhere to go. So a deep possession again awaits the Seraphs with just 2:13 remaining, down 34.
I'd like to mention, too, I think one area that's really been a big plus for Oxnard has been their kickoff team. They've covered well. They got the big almost a turnover on the opening kickoff of the second half. But they've pretty much throttled and kept St. Bonaventure deep in their own territory. They're here, at the 14-yard line this time?
Yeah, the 13. So it was only a 5-yard return.
Yeah, so their kickoff team is still playing hard.
Oh, yeah. And you said going into today, special teams was a big worry for Tony Henney and the staff, and it has panned out that way, that the special teams edge has overwhelmingly been with Jaime Moreno's Oxnard Yellowjackets.
Very definitely, very definitely.
The handoff goes to Arianis. Arianis will get a good gain of about 7.5 yards, and it will be second and short.
Yeah, and for their other running back, Cantu, who did not play tonight, has not played for the last 4 or 5 weeks. They're going to return 2 really solid running backs from what we know.
And Benny Harold, the sophomore, hit the only touchdown today. He's only a sophomore, so the wide receiver. And their defense, if you just look at their starting defense, I'll go through in a moment, because the defense has played well as Arianis has the first down. I'm just looking at the starters. Joe Young's a senior starter at nose guard. Braden Winchester's a senior starter at D end. And then outside of that, you have 2 guys in the secondary. Alex Juarez and Frank Rodriguez are seniors. The entire rest of the starting defense, all the linebackers, well, Keaton Betancourt also a senior, but 3 of your 4 starting linebackers are sophomores. 3 of your top 4 defensive linemen are juniors or sophomores.
Yeah, so
and a couple guys in your secondary are
they'll be
juniors.
back. Coach Henning and staff do a good job. Also, next year, remember that they're going to be moving out of the Marmont League and moving down into the Camino League. So that'll be probably a good move for them.
Yeah.
I also would like to mention Coach Moreno now has a bunch of backups in on defense, which I think is a good move by him.
At this point, you want to get your kids some experience. Let them go into this game. Get the uniform dirty a little bit, even though it's black and there's not as much that you can get dirty compared to the white uniforms.
I think if you could have, perhaps after first down, maybe take Beerup out, so maybe the crowd can kind of acknowledge him as home crowd.
Yeah.
And bring in the other quarterback, let him get a little playoff experience. Wouldn't have been a bad deal. Beerup's been a very, very good quarterback for this program the last couple of years.
On his way to Division I football in short order. It's now 3rd and 5 with 30 seconds remaining for St. Bonaventure, trailing 40-6. And Gavin Beerup certainly has a bright future in football. And this game was very tight and competitive for over half the game. I mean, we were 3-4 minutes left. I've marked down here, Oxnard took that lead 20-6 early in the 4th. So we went into the 4th quarter 13-6.
Yeah, no, it's been an explosion. And it's been a job of...
On 3rd and 5, Beerup's going to throw it deep, hoping to beat the whole defense, and it's caught. It will go for a score of 64 yards, and I believe it was Carfaro with the catch. A deep bomb, a beautiful strike, and that's senior to senior. Beerup and Carfaro for the final time in their career with 18 seconds left, a 64-yard bomb. And, well, they didn't remove him from the game, but that's one way to go out on your final pass of your high school career and your final catch of your high school career. It goes for 64 yards as you just beat the defense and throw it over top.
No, that is a good way for those kids to finish their careers. But it's been an Oxnard 4th quarter where their depth, I think, and their athleticism really came into the forefront and taking advantage of every mistake that St. Bonaventure made in the second half. Bad snap.
Low snap. The kick is up and through. So a good job on the hold. So Carfaro, the final 2 plays of his high school career most likely, gets the snap after it was low. He gets the hold down, goes through, and then he also gets a 64-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah.
So a good job by the senior. And as we said, a way to go out for beer up there with the best thrown ball of the night on either side.
Now, this situation here really worries me. A kicking game can be wonderful. It can also be a pain in the rear end when you get in a situation like this, as far as any kind of a last shot going off. That's one of the things I love in Italy. You know, when I coach overseas, we very rarely have a scoreboard, a clock, or a scoreboard for that matter. And it's all done by the referees. And there's been more than one time where there's a score like that, and the referee says, "That's it, game's over." And, well, how much time is it? It's done. And there might be 20, 30, but if, you're this far ahead, I mean, it's meaningless at this point.
40-13, waning moments of our final broadcast here of the 2019 season. Thank all the good people at the Ventura County Star and Ventura Orthopedics to be able to do these broadcasts. Another great year with you. I always enjoy these broadcasts. Of course, the godfather of this whole deal, Danny Page, back in the day, kind of got at least myself started here with Ventura County football, and it's another fun season as this one is going to trickle and stay in bounds. There's now the clock. The clock has not been moving, which is weird. The clock should have been rolling.
And we have a flag.
Now there's 17 seconds left, so only 1 second went off the clock.
Oh, well.
So now it should just be a victory formation quarterback knee.
Well, there was a flag, but I think he just picked it up. Just why bother?
At this point.
And the referees might just be calling this at this point. Let's see what they got here.
17 seconds left. Bud Hauser-Field, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and the Yellowjackets trying to get back to a championship game in CIF last year. Fell short this year, on their way to their 10th victory of the season. They do end up calling it.
Yep, one more.
So the flag will back up Oxnard all the way inside their, about the 3-yard line?
3-yard line, yeah. And I'm sure Coach Moreno, they're happy that they got a victory. They're happy they get to move on to play either Oak Hill or Aquinas next week. But the focus has got to be on cleaning up these penalties. This has just been something that's really, they could have made the score much bigger, much faster had that happened.
And another final score. Upland defeats Oaks Christian 27-17. The Lions season ends in the first round. How about that? Victory formation. And the Oxnard Yellowjackets are your winners tonight at Bud Hauser-Field. Final score, Oxnard 40. And 13 goes for the St. Bonaventure Seraphs. It was 13-6 going to the fourth quarter, and then it was 27-7 in the final frame. Signing off from the Ventura Orthopedics Game of the Week, presented by the Ventura County Star, Anthony Placencia, our producer, George Contreras, Kent Brown. This has been playoff football and our 2019 season here in Ventura County. Oxnard defeats St. Bonaventure.